Let's see. We'll hang on here just a few. See if we can get anybody up in here. Hey, what up? What's up, JD? Smoking this cigar down here by the waterfront, just chilling out, my dude. Just chilling out. Trying to roll this window down a little bit. What up? What's up, Kyle? What up, guys? What's up? What's up, Zarbian? What up? Really, JD? That's no good. What's up, Brandon? What up, Tiger Raven? What up, guys? Just enjoying the waterfront here. Awful showing from the Sox bullpen, Kyle. Awful showing from the Sox bullpen and no offense whatsoever. It was just a bad night. A bad night for them. It was a bad showing, man. Not gonna lie. Terrible. Terrible showing. Terrible showing for the Sox. Their bullpen, they had a shot at it too. They had a legit shot in the 8th inning. They had a legit shot in the 8th inning. Or going into the 8th inning. It was only a 1-run game. They had a legitimate shot. They did. And then the bullpen just collapsed. I mean, there's nothing they could do. There's nothing they could do. Yeah, the Giants playing good ball, Brennan. They're playing good baseball. They are. They've played good ball all year. You can't say they haven't been doing well. They've kind of carried it throughout the year too. They've played good ball. I'll give you that. Red Sox got to get it back. They got to get a guy or probably one guy for the back end of their rotation, and then one solid guy for the bullpen. They got to make some moves. They could probably get close to the World Series with the way the team's situated now, close to it. I don't know if they could get to it, but they could get close. And I don't know about winning it either. I don't think the bullpen's good enough to win them a World Series. I don't think it's good enough to win them a World Series. Like I said, they could get close with it the way it is, but they're going to have to make some changes for sure to get them over that final hurdle. They could get close though. They could get close. But they do have to make some changes. Yeah, we got the Romeo and Juliet. Hold on. It's a bad angle, guys. We got the Blue Label Romeo and Juliet Reserve. That is what we are smoking tonight, because we don't smoke the cheap crap on this channel. We got the good stuff. We got the good stuff. Dude, I can't wait for NFL either. I can't wait for the NFL either. It needs to get here, and it needs to get here quick. It's right around the corner though, man. About a month away. We got like a little over 3 weeks. I mean, a little over a month, excuse me, a little over 4 weeks to go. A little over 4 weeks to go, but what an awful showing from the bullpen. I mean, they've been serviceable. They've been serviceable for most of the year. But that's been today's showing was atrocious. That was awful. Give me 1 sec, guys. I'll be right back. I gotta handle a spider outside on my car. He's about to get squashed. He doesn't know it yet though. Now that we done took care of that problem, I can roll the windows back down. Got rid of his little 8-legged butt. Now we can get back to the sports talk. Oh, I think they'll win tomorrow. Pavetta's pitching, yeah, I think they'll win tomorrow. They should take the series, but that was just an awful showing from the bullpen. That was just bad. That was just an overall bad showing from the pen. It was not good. You know what I've noticed, JD? The sports attendance and ratings as a whole have been down this whole year. I looked at my my numbers for the last season. I've kind of been doing a little bit of research, and my numbers have been down. It just goes to show I don't think people are watching this year. I really don't. Ratings are down. I mean, my streams last year were getting a lot more attention. I don't know. It's just very, very strange. Very, very strange. Ratings, I think, are all around sports are down. Wait, Brandon, they're down. They're way down, man. It's I just don't think people are watching. They're just not interested. They're just not interested. And my numbers, at least from what I've been showing on YouTube, my numbers have proved it. Like my streams last year got a lot more attention. A lot more attention. They were promoted a lot more. JD, we got to start doing that more. We got to start doing that more. We do. It's okay, Flyers. It's all good. This is just a pop-up live stream. I just wanted to come on here and hang out with you guys, smoke this cigar and just hang out. I don't care if there's a lot of people in here. I just think the ratings are down. But not as, these leagues got to do a better job of drawing people back in. The league's got to do a better job of drawing people back in. Only the real diehard fans are watching the sports now. Only the real diehard fans are watching. The casual fan has completely tuned out. The casual fans have completely tuned out. These sports leagues got to do a better job of keeping people interested and drawing them back in, because the attention and the ratings, they're all proven that they're just not watching. Not as many people are watching. I mean, just go look at the data. Go look at the statistics and look at the data. Nobody's really watching, or not like half as many people are watching now. These leagues got to do a better job of getting the attention back. That's all it is. He's something else, JD. That dude is a guy who can pitch like that and hit like that. We haven't seen a player like that in years. In years. He is a true dual threat, pitching and hitting. We haven't seen a guy like that in years and years and years. And like the year that like Rafi Devers and the year that Bogarts are having, I'm surprised that the Red Sox just haven't drawn more interest than they have. That's what I'm basically trying to say, is that I'm just surprised that the Sox haven't drawn more interest. I mean, the team is fun to watch. They don't ever give up. They fight. You know what I mean? The team's fun to watch. I'm just surprised that the Red Sox don't draw more attention. And it's not like they're not a big market team. The Sox have a ton of fans. The Sox have a huge following. Yeah, I hear you, JD. I hear you, man. When I get done with this cigar, JD, and I get back to my house, I'm gonna jump back on Call of Duty and we can play. I ain't got nothing much going on tomorrow, so we can play for a while. What's up, Nolan? I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is. It's just I think these leagues got to do a better job of drawing people back in. The attention just isn't there anymore. I mean, they have legitimate stars there too, like Damian Lillard and Booker and Tatum and Brown and Zion and Luka. Like, the young talent's there. You know what I mean? The young talent is there to draw people in. It's there. It's all there. For some reason, just people aren't watching. You know, I mean, there's talent there to be watched. A lot of these guys, you should want to watch them on a nightly basis because of how talented they really are. You know, Luka's a stupid talent. You know, Zion, Booker, Tatum, Ja Morant, like you're saying, yeah, like the young talent is there, dude. It's all there. It's the PR department in the league just not doing a good enough job trying to get people to watch again. Like, all those players that you just said deserve, you know, people should want to watch those guys. They're fun to watch. They're fun to watch. They're energetic. They're charismatic. They're good at what they do. They're very good at what they do. I mean, the young talent's there. I don't know why. I don't know why people just aren't watching. And the same thing with the NFL. You know, as much as I can't stand the Chiefs, Pat Mahomes is entertaining. Mahomes is entertaining to watch. He is. Yeah, no thanks. No thanks, McChicken. I will enjoy it and not die. You know what I mean, though? I think it's more on the league. I think it's more on the league. And when you get these, when you get these, when you get these, you know, when LeBron retires, I think after LeBron leaves, you're going to see a big time spike in people's interest coming back. Because I think a lot of people are tired of LeBron. Curry's entertaining. I wouldn't say it's Curry. I'd say it's more LeBron. They're just tired of him. They're tired of players like him, with the attitudes like him. You know, they're just sick and tired of him and the players that have the same attitude that he does. You're probably not the only one, Brandon. You're probably not the only one. I'm going to call it right now. Here's a hot take for you guys. Here's a hot take for you guys. Yeah, no doubt, McChicken, no doubt. Here's a hot take for you guys, right? Here's a hot take for y'all. When LeBron retires, the NBA's ratings are going to be at the highest it's been in 5 years. In 5 years, guaranteed. The year after LeBron retires, the league ratings will be the highest they've been in 5 years. People will start watching again. The attitude. It's the attitude, you know? It's the attitude. They're tired of the entitled player, you know, these guys who just think they can say and do whatever they want. LeBron's got more money than God, and it all has gone to his head, and he thinks he can do and say, and it's not just LeBron, it's players that have the same attitude that he does. They've ruined the league. The players with that type of an attitude. The players with that type of an attitude, they have ruined the league. They're literally pushing fans away that don't, you know, they don't want to hear what LeBron has to say because he's an entitled little brat. They don't want to hear it. So they just tune him out. I'm telling you right now, the NBA ratings are going to go right back up. As soon as players like him retire, and as soon as players like him retire, you watch. What's up, Steel Maiden? What up, buddy? You watch. The fans of the NBA are tired of the entitlement. They're tired of these entitled brat players with crappy attitudes. They don't want to hear that. They want to watch guys with fire and you know and drive and you know passion for the team that they play for. LeBron and the players that have his attitude care about one thing: money. They don't care. They don't care where it comes from or how they get it. They just care about the money. And fans are sick of that. Fans are getting tired of it, and they're just tuning out and they don't watch. I mean, I don't know what else to... The attitude of these sports leagues has got to change. You know, it's the overall attitude. It's the overall attitude and the product that they're putting on the court and on the field that are stopping people from watching. No, he has a terrible attitude, Nolan, but he's entertaining to watch. He has a terrible attitude, but he's entertaining. But that's just where we're at. That's where we're at in society. That's where we're at in sports. It's causing people to not watch. They need to get those kind of players with those kind of attitudes out of the league, and then they'll be fine. We're just talking about players with bad attitudes, Steel Maiden, and how they affect the ratings and the product on the court and on the field in both sports, football and basketball. People don't want to watch that. They just don't want to watch. Players with those type of attitudes, they're no good for the product. I care about the product, man. I want NBA fans to be like, when I do a live stream, I want people to be flooded in there. I want 4,000 people to be watching me do my thing and call the Celtic game and lose my mind when they do good or when they do bad. Like, I just want, I want to see people watching and interested in it again. And it's just not happening this year. Or it's been a while now. I want the product, because I like the NBA. The NBA and football are entertaining to watch. It's just, that's just my opinion. That's just how I feel. Like, the glory days of the NBA, to me, are long gone. They got to get back to those days, where it's just the attitude now is different. It's not about team pride anymore. It's about money. It's not about team pride. All right, there we go. We're back. Here we go. We're back at it. We got it. We're back. It's the overall attitude, though, man. It's just the overall attitude. Paul Pierce loved the Celtics. Paul Pierce loved the Celtics. The Truth loved the Celtics. He sat through years and years and years of mediocrity before they finally built, before they got the big three around, before they put together the big three. There's no more team loyalty anymore. It's all about the almighty dollar for these players now. It's all about the dollar to them. They don't care where they play. They just want the money. And you know what, too? It goes for all of sports too, right? There's no more real rivalries anymore. There's no more real rivalries because the players are all friends now. They're all friends. They don't care. If you were back in 2000, like, perfect example, during the 2004 Red Sox World Series run, the Sox and Yankees playing in that series, they hated one another. There was legitimate bad blood. Like, legitimate bad blood. They hated one another. They couldn't stand each other. Both sides hated one another. They absolutely hated. There was real animosity there from both sides. They hated each other. There were fights, and there were, there's no more of that now. Another example, the 2008 Celtics championship run, when they played the Lakers, they hated one another. Those teams hated one another. because of team pride. You play for the Lakers. That's the Celtics on the other side of that. You know, if you play for the Celtics the same way, if you played for the Celtics, that's the Lakers that you're facing in the finals. Screw that team and everybody who plays for it, you know? That was the attitude coming from the Celtics, coming from our team. And it's not like that anymore. These guys are all about the dollar. They don't care who they play for. There's no team loyalty anymore. You know? There's none of that. There's no more of that. That is long gone. That attitude is because of the new generation of the NBA. That is what it is. You know, there's no more of that. It's just different. The league is just different now. And it's like I said, it's just full of players that have no team loyalty. They're loyal to the dollar, and that's it. They're loyal to the almighty dollar. It's just sad. It's sad to see where the sports leagues are sitting right now, and what they've become from their the glory days of real animosity and real bad-blooded rivalries are gone. Sox and Yankees played each other. Was there any bad blood in that game? Not really. It didn't have the same juice as it did 10, 15 years ago. It just doesn't. Those rivalry games don't have the same juice anymore. They don't have the same attitude behind them. You wanted to watch the Red Sox play the Yankees. That was a game that you would sit there and watch, no matter what day of the week it was. If it was a Tuesday at 8 p.m. and you had to work the next morning, it didn't matter. You'd sit and watch that whole game because you knew there's going to be a fight or some pitcher throwing high and in on a guy, throwing at a guy's chin. You knew that was going to happen. There's no real rivalries anymore. They're gone. They're long gone and dead. The way the league is now, it's gotten a lot softer, and it's because of the players that are in it now. See, Flyers fan, that's the one exception. Hockey, there are still bad-blooded rivalries. Hockey's the one sport that it really hasn't affected. It's just not the same. They don't have the same. They just don't have the same. It doesn't have the same meaning anymore, which is kind of disappointing. It was. They were hitting each other, Zach. They certainly were, but it's just like that's what I miss. I miss the real rivalry years, the real rivalries. Jordan, no, I'm not. I am not. I am not watching the fight. Nope. I will say this, though. I'm picking Poirier. I am picking against McGregor. I think McGregor's got more money than he knows what to do with, and I don't think he's going to be focused. I don't think he's going into that fight concerned with the attitude that he had before he got all this money from fighting Mayweather and just doing the other stuff that he's doing. I don't think his attitude's going to be in it where it needs to be. I think Poirier is going to beat him. I think Poirier is going to take him to school, to be honest. And McGregor's made his money, you know? McGregor's made his money. He's a businessman. He's a businessman. He's rich. The dude has more money than he knows what to do with. He is set. Why go in there? You know what I mean? He has no reason to. I wish he did. That's just my thoughts on it, guys. That's just my thoughts on it. We might have to relight this cigar, y'all. It's kind of going out. I've been talking too much. Let's see if I can do this without burning my hand. There we go. Now we're back in business. What up, Leedy? What's up, buddy? Leedy, here, I got a couple of Steeler fans. In here. Leedy, let me ask you this, Leedy. When the Pats and Steelers play each other next year, not this year, but next year, do you think it's going to have the same juice as it did when we played each other, like in the last 10 years, like 8-10 years ago? Do you think it's going to have the same juice? Because I don't. I mean, yeah, we know it's going to be a good game because it's the Patriots and the Steelers, and obviously the diehards are going to represent. But do you think it's going to have the same juice as it did 10 years ago? I don't know. Even 6 years ago. You know what I mean? And that the Steelers and Patriots, that's a rivalry right there. When those teams play each other, you better expect a hard-hitting, hard-nosed, in-your-face, old-school football, smash attack from both teams. And I don't know. I think it's going to be a good game. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's going to have the same juice as it did 8 years ago, 6 years ago. The leagues all these sports leagues have just changed, unfortunately. Unfortunately for us, they've just changed. I think it's just the way it's going, unfortunately. No, but I'm talking overall, Leedy. I'm talking overall, like the media, the national media, and just the sports media in general would hype those Steelers and Patriots games up because they knew it was going to be a hard-nosed, smash-mouth game. I just don't think it's going to warrant the amount of, obviously the diehards are going to represent, obviously the real diehard fans are going to be there to cheer their teams on. I don't know. It's just the leagues, all of sports has just changed, man. There's no team loyalty anymore. It's all about the dollar. They're all buddy now. In all of these sports leagues, they're all friends, I mean, it's one thing to shake each other's hand after the game and to like, show respect after the game. That's one thing, but like it's just, I don't know. It's changed to me. It's just changed. These sports leagues have just changed over like the last 8 years. I don't know. Could just be me, but let me know. What do you guys think? That's just my opinion. I could just be talking. Let me know. I mean, I'm hoping we get to go back to the glory days, to how sports were. But I do think, like I said before, I do think when players with attitudes like LeBron has retire and they get out of the league and you're left with guys like Booker and Morant and Tatum and Brown and Lillard and this young group that's coming up, I do think hopefully we can go back. Hopefully we can go back. Yeah, I know, John. I know. It has. It's a business now. I know. I get it. I just miss the old days. That's all, man. I just miss the old rivalry days. I wish there was more interest, I really do. I wish there was more interest in sports because some of the storylines are really good. You know, some of the storylines are really good and worth following. Like the Celtics, you know, as much as they struggled, you know, the major storyline for them that people should want to tune in and watch is and it's kind of turned me off a lot too, is can Tatum and Brown mature enough to lead the Celtics into the future? Hi Michael, what's up? I mean, that should be the big storyline. Can the young kids for the Celtics mature enough to lead this team into the future and lead them to future titles? I don't know. I hope. But that's a big I don't know with me right now. I'm hoping they can. What's up, Eric? What's up, buddy? That's what I got to say though, guys. What are your thoughts? I mean, I'm just ranting and raving here. I am just going on a little rant. But thanks for tuning in, guys. We're just hanging out here. I might try and maybe next year, maybe next summer, Eric, I'll try and get out to a few of the Worcester Sox games. When they were in Pawtucket, they were in Rhode Island, which was a lot closer to me than Worcester. It was a lot closer to me than Worcester is. Worcester is about an hour and 40 minute ride for me. Pawtucket's like 45, you know, Rhode Island was like 45 minutes. So that's why I haven't, you know, maybe I'll try and get out. Maybe we'll do like a meet and greet next summer and I'll go to a Pawtucket, Worcester Red Sox game. Maybe we'll do that. What's good? What's good, Lamar? What's up? Leedy, I forget. Do you follow baseball? Are you a Pirates fan? I forget. I thought you told me you don't follow baseball too much. I think you just said football and hockey, right? I thought you said you were football and hockey. I could be wrong though. Yeah, all right, yeah, I thought so. Lamar, they've done a number on the Yanks this year too. I've been enjoying that. The Yankees team is just not built to win long term. Just football. Okay, cool. All right. Just football. All right, Leedy. I thought so. I couldn't remember if you said you followed the Penguins either, right? I know Steel Maiden, if he's still in here. I know Maiden follows the Penguins and the Pirates. I know that. This is an interesting time frame for Boston Sports Nation, though. This is the transition period, you know, for the Patriots and for the Red Sox too. They're trying to build their young core and build for the future. Definitely for the Pats. They definitely for the Patriots. They have a lot of they got a lot of questions that they got to answer. Quarterback being the biggest one, obviously, but they're trying to revamp their future too, and what that holds. Leedy and Steele and Eric, the Steelers are trying to do the same thing. For all of you Steeler fans, They're trying to do the same thing. They're trying to secure their future too. That's going to be another interesting thing too. Can they, after Big Ben, what's the plan? I mean, to be honest, I think they draft a quarterback after this season. I think they draft a quarterback, to be honest. Yeah, no, that's you're 100% correct, man. It's long gone. Good sports journalism is long gone. Just look at what they're doing at ESPN. All the good sports coverage people from ESPN left. They all left. They were like, "We're done with this crap. We don't like the direction that the station's going in. We don't like the direction." They all left. They all left or they got fired. They're done. They didn't like the direction it was going in, and they said, "Forget it." And I don't really blame them. I don't really blame them at all. I don't really blame them at all. When I was growing up, ESPN was actually a watchable, really good product. Not anymore. Not anymore. Me either, John. I haven't watched them in years. Years and years and years. I haven't watched them in years. The product's just gone downhill. The product for ESPN has just gone really, really downhill. They're not concerned with sports anymore. They're all over the place. That's the problem. But what do you guys think? I want the outsiders' opinions too. Do you think we see Mac Jones this year, or do you think he sits for the whole year and they ride with Newton? I think we see Mac Jones in week 8. That's what I'm going to say. I think by week 8, I think we see Jones in there as a starter, and I think Newton's done. That's just the feeling that I get. I think he's going to start, Eric. He'll start the season. Cam Newton will start the season as the week 1 starter for sure. I think that for a fact. I think that's going to happen. Oh, absolutely, Leedy. There's 100% bias towards certain teams, and they defend. It's not only teams, Leedy, it's players. There's bias towards players, too. It's not only teams, it's players. There's just certain guys on ESPN that will defend certain players to the death, even when they're wrong. Even when they're wrong. Even when they're wrong. That's the problem. There's biases towards teams, and then there's biases towards players. There's certain guys on ESPN right now that will defend players on their decisions, even if they're dead wrong, and it's a bad decision and a bad look. They'll still defend them, and they'll try and find ways to defend them. When in reality, they just say the truth. It was a bad look. It was a bad decision. But they're afraid to do that because all these guys are in bed. They're all scratching each other's backs. Good day, GRB. What's up, buddy? It is, John. It is. They've injected it into that, too. Yep. 100%, dude. %. You can't avoid it now. You can't avoid it now. It's all over. They've injected it into every aspect of the sporting world. We used to tune into sports because it united us. You know, we used to tune into sports because it was a united front. No matter what team you rooted for, it was a united front. You'd go into a sporting stream and you'd feel welcome there. Now it's everything. It's politics are a part of everything, and it's destroying the sporting world. It is. It's destroying the sporting world, and they refuse to do anything about it. So they're just going to continue down that road until something changes it. But it's destroying the sporting world and the fans that love the sport. Because, like I said, sports are a united front. Or at least it used to be. And now they're trying to bring topics into sports that divide people. And all it's doing is hurting the product. All it's really doing is hurting the product. But this is an interesting time for us Boston sports fans. There's a transition period going on for our sporting teams, and we're gonna have to wait and see and hope that the general managers, the coaches, and the owners of these teams do it the right way, and they rebuild the teams, and we as a sports city return to the former glory. That's all that we can hope for. Hopefully these owners and these GMs are going to do it the right way, and we can get back to the former glory that we were. I think the Red Sox are definitely going in the right direction. They got a lot of young talent. I think the future for them is very, very bright. The Patriots have a lot of good young talent as well. They just need to figure out really one or two key positions. With the quarterback being one of them, they got to figure out. They got to, obviously Cam Newton is not the long-term solution for this team, so they're going to have to figure that out. They're going to have to figure that out. They got a lot of stuff that they're going to have to go through. I didn't get to see that last comment. Retype that. But I do think the future is bright for the Sox. I do like that outcome. The Patriots, they do have a lot of good young talent. They got some wily veterans on that team that are going to be there to lead the team, I think, in the right direction. I think realistically they have one position to figure out, and that's the quarterback. If Mac Jones is the solution, great. Belichick hit a home run. If he's not, then they're going to have to refocus and try again. But there's a lot of good young talent on that team. There's a lot of good young talent on that team. And the Bruins, I think, the core of the Bruins, the core for the Bruins is winding down their time too. At least the core that I grew up with, the core that I grew up with, Marchand Bergeron, Chara. Chara's gone, but that core, Krejci, their time is winding down too. Come on, man. They just don't do sports anymore, dude. That's all it is. I think they just got to like I said, this is going to be a very interesting time. I think the Pats, like I said, I do like the direction. I think the Patriots are headed in the right way. They have, a couple of spots that they have to kind of work out, but I think the Red Sox are definitely headed in the right direction. The Bruins are the ones that really concern me, because do they have? Outside of Charlie McAvoy, that young core is, Charlie Coyle's up in the air. We don't know what we really have with him. I know he was hurt last year. He played through a knee injury pretty much the whole season. They're going to be interesting. The Boston sports are definitely in a transition period, and it's going to be very, very interesting to watch and see how they handle and how they go about their business in moving these teams forward and keeping the ship in the right direction. I do like Chaim Bloom. I think he's a very smart dude. I think he's going to put together. I think he'll handle the pitching problem. Whether it's, I don't think he's going to completely solve it at the deadline, but I think he'll in the offseason, this coming offseason, I think they'll revamp that pitching staff, and I do think the Sox are in for a bright future. I think that they have the tools and the right people in the right spots to do it. The only thing that worries me with them is John Henry as an owner. I think his head is not in it fully with the Red Sox. I think he's more concerned with his overseas endeavors with the soccer, but that kind of worries me. But like I said, I am pretty confident that we do have some people in the right spots for these New England teams and these Boston teams to steer them in the right direction. It's just going to be very, very interesting to watch. It's definitely, I don't know if I'd call it a full rebuild, Flyers. They're just in a transition period, like, because they're not like they're like the bottom third teams, you know. They're just in a transition period. I mean, 7-9 last year was way below Patriot fans' standards and what they're used to, but it's not like they won 3 games, you know. It's a transition period, and they have to be very, very careful on how they move forward. They have to be very, very careful on how they move these teams forward, because a lot is riding on it. A lot's riding on it, and the bar in New England and the bar in Boston, as all of Boston sports fans know, is set very, very high. We have high expectations as Red Sox, Bruins, Patriots, and Celtics fans. We just, because of the success of the city, we have very, very high expectations for our teams. And the Patriots are a major reason for that. The Patriots are a huge reason for that, and that, like, the 20-year run that they've been on and the success that they've had is it's unheard of, like that, and that pushed the bar way up here. That the bar for the New England sports area, Boston sports area is just set very, very high. But like I said, I do have confidence. I have confidence. Ime Udoka, the new coach for the Celtics, I do like that hire. Apparently Brown, Tatum, and Smart think very, very highly of him, which is encouraging. When they think highly of the coach, and they seem to be very enthused about the hire, so that's always a plus. When the team thinks highly of the coach, and hopefully that translates to them, on the court. What was that, Leedy? Oh, no doubt, Leedy. No doubt, bro. No doubt, Leedy. It's when you get that sort of success, a lot of it can go to your head, dude. It's I don't want to say we have to revamp our expectations, but you have to be realistic with them. You have to be realistic with the expectations. You have to realize that Brady, who is one of the greatest NFL players, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever step foot on a football field, is gone. When you lose that level of talent, you have to be realistic with the expectations afterwards. That is a massive talent loss and a massive leadership loss on the field. And it's the same thing with the Celtics when the big 3 left. When all those guys left, you're in a transition period now, and you have to, you just have to be realistic with your asks and your expectations for the team. I've always tried to be realistic with my expectations for the team. That's all I've tried to be with my teams, is just realistic. Yeah, no doubt, John, no doubt. The expectations are high, man. The expectations are high. I am, Colby. I am. So we're going to do something different, guys, because the Red Sox are off and there's really not any Boston sports team still playing. We are going to be covering 2 games of the NBA Finals. We're going to do Game 3 and Game 4. We are going to do Game 3 and Game 4. So we will be live for both of those games tomorrow night at 8 p.m. And then I forget the other.
Here at FML here in downtown Dade, Jen. So we are live here. Today we're going to be, I'll be
Hold on, guys.
Breakfast or brunch or.
All right, we're back. We're back. Can y'all hear me? Y'all hear me? Y'all still hear me? We're good? We good? Can y'all still hear me? Okay, good. Okay, cool. I had a service interruption there. But it's just I've always tried to be realistic with my expectations. And here's my thing, like on Twitter I've been called a Cam Newton hater, and you just hate Cam and all this, and I've been called a racist. I've been called a racist on Twitter because people, they automatically just pull the race card on you, and it's like I don't care if Cam Newton was orange with purple polka dots. The dude, like, I will call it, and if Mac Jones sucks, I'm going to call it like that too. I'm going to say he's terrible too. You know, I just, like, I call it like I see it, man. I call it like I see it. I don't have any faith in Cam Newton because I base my opinions on him on what I saw last season. And what I saw was a guy who was hesitant with the football, held on to it too long, made poor decisions in the pocket, and couldn't diagnose a blitz. You know, couldn't diagnose a blitz. And then even when guys were open, the throws were over their head, down at their feet. It was very rarely did he hit guys square in the numbers. Very, very rarely did he hit guys square in the numbers. Did he complete passes? Yeah, he did. Not going to lie. He completed passes, but the throws were not accurate. Did they get to the receiver? Yeah, they might have got there, but were they over their head, behind, up high, down at their knees? Yeah, they were. Now, for those of you who are about to say, oh, Cam Newton didn't have any weapons. No, he didn't have any weapons. I'll give you that. He didn't have any weapons either. But at the same time, you can't throw a football down in the dirt to somebody you just can't do. And he said he didn't know the playbook. He said he had trouble with the playbook in like week 14, 15. He said that in a press conference, and it's like, dude, you didn't have an off season. Yeah, great. But you've been with the team for 15 weeks and you're still having trouble with the playbook. That's on you, Cam. Nobody else. That's on him. You know, that's on Newton. That's not on anybody else. That is Cam's responsibility to learn the playbook. Like, the excuse making for him is it's beyond me. It's beyond me. Like I said, I'll give him that he didn't have a lot of weapons. No, he did not. No, he didn't. But he still was not accurate with the football, and he still made terrible decisions in the pocket, and he can't diagnose a defense, and that was proven week in and week out. So my opinions on what I think of Cam and why I don't have a lot of faith with him learning that stuff, you know, it's based on what I saw last year. You know, like I don't care who our quarterback is. And here's the thing, if Cam Newton does great and the Patriots, you know, go to the playoffs and they win 11 games or 12 games and they go to the playoffs, that's great. Good. I'll praise Cam I will praise Cam when he does well. Without question. I'll give him praise and I'll tell him good job, great job. You know, this game was won on Cam Newton's shoulders and he deserves praise, and that's great. But what I'm going to ask is for all the people that are blindly supporting him and downplaying all of his downfalls, you know, you guys they got to do, all the people that all the Cam Newton fans need to realize that when he shows the same tendencies as he did last year, this year, you got to admit that you're wrong and he doesn't have it. It doesn't work both ways. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it like that. You got to admit when you're wrong, and when he's not good, he's not good. That's all that I'm asking for, is just be realistic. I mean, and I don't think it's an unrealistic or like, I don't think it's a big ask or something to do that. Like, it's just be realistic with the expectations. That's all. That's all that I'm asking for, man. I don't think it's much. I don't, like I said, I don't think it's much. That's all that I ask. And I try to be as realistic as I can, you know? And like I said, I base a lot of my opinions in logic. And the logic and the play on the field, you know? He can make all the hype videos that he wants. You know, he can make all the, excuse me, guys, he can make all the hype videos he wants, but when he doesn't perform on the field, you have to expect some backlash. You know, this is a proud sports city. We take our sports serious, and when you don't perform, you're going to hear it, you know? When you don't perform, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. Like, that's one of the biggest questions I have. And the radio people here in Boston have been talking about it. And my good friends at Dear Pets Nation, Ray and Connor, shout out to those two guys, by the way. They're probably two of my favorite content creators on YouTube. Shout out to them for the job that they do. They do a phenomenal job creating Patriots content, by the way. You know, that it's just, like I said, it's really not a hard concept. And quarterback, people forget, guys, let's not get this twisted, right? Let's not get this twisted at all. Quarterback's the most important position on the field. Quarterback is the most important position on the field. He's the general on the field. He's the leader. He's he's the guy. He's the guy. And you could be the most talented team on the planet around it, but if you don't have a good field general, a good quarterback, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to go anywhere. You may win one Super Bowl, right? You might win one Super Bowl off of a defense, off of your defense, right? You might win one Super Bowl off of defense, and having a mediocre, crappy quarterback. You might win one. You might get one here or there. Great, you know. Philadelphia, perfect example. Nick Foles, perfect example. You know, not a great quarterback. You know, not a great quarterback. They had a good surrounding cast and they had a good game plan. They beat the Patriots. They're not going to win another Super Bowl for a while, you know? Another example, the Buccaneers team with Warren Sapp and Dunn and Allstott and that good defense with John Lynch, you know? They won one Super Bowl and then back to mediocrity. You know, the quarterback is the most important position on the field. And if you don't have that secured, you're not going to win long term. You're not going to be a dynasty. You're not going to be a legendary franchise. You just won't. There's just certain positions on the football field that matter way more than than others do. There's just certain positions on the field that matter a lot more. I mean, it is what it is. It's like I said, like we've been talking, like I've said for a while. I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but it's this is a transition year for the This is a transition year, this is a transitional year for the Patriots. They have got to be very careful on how they build this team going forward. I think Bill's put a lot of good young talent on the team. I like a lot of pieces that we have. The biggest question mark is quarterback, and unfortunately, it's the biggest, it's the most important position on the field. Unfortunately, the biggest question mark for the Pats is their quarterback, and that's, like I said, that's the most important position on the field. So to have that as a question mark it's important. That's very, 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 it can be worrisome. I hope that Boston as a sports city can return to its former glory that it once had, because it's not far from it. A few more pieces here or there on a couple of one or two or three more pieces on a few of these teams, and we're going to come right back to the glory that we once were. And it's going to be the city of champions. We are not, Boston sports fans, don't get this twisted. We are not far away from getting back to the former glory that we once had. And this city as a whole, and the sports teams in it, are not far from being back to the former glory that we once had. It's close. It's very, very close. A few pieces here or there. The young core of the Red Sox looks phenomenal. Verdugo, Devers, Betts. Verdugo, Devers, Bogarts. And then we have there's a lot of good young talent in the farm system for the Sox as well. Their future's looking bright. The Bruins and the Patriots got to be very careful on how they go forward. Those teams are the two biggest question marks. The Celtics are up there too. They Tatum and Brown have the talent. They have the talent. They just need the attitude. They need the attitude, the drive. If they can mature and get a little bit of an attitude adjustment, and like I said, one or two more pieces around them, and that team could be back right in contention again. It's not, like I said, Boston as a sports city, as a city as a whole, is not very far from being back to its former glory. It's not very far away. I just hope in my lifetime we can get back to the glory that it was. I know I'm incredibly lucky as a New England sports fan. Anybody my age, I'm 35 right now, guys. I spent my entire adult life watching my teams win championships. What's up, Brady? I am incredibly lucky as a sports fan. My dad, my father, who's 63, waited years and years and years to see a Super Bowl championship. Getting to watch these this last 20 years with him has been something else, man. Because he's talked to me more than a few times about the old days when he was growing up and watching the teams just struggle. So as New England fans, as Boston sports fans, guys, we should feel incredibly lucky for the run that we've had. It's been something else. It's been something else, man. The run that we've been on for the sport in the sporting world has been something else. So I think we've been incredibly lucky to see what we've seen. At least me. At least at my age, I'm incredibly lucky for being able to see the championships that I've seen. No doubt, John. No doubt. There is a ton of no quit, and a ton of fight in the Red Sox. That's why I'm surprised not a lot of people are watching them this year. That's why I'm surprised that not a lot of people are watching the Red Sox this year, because that team is incredibly entertaining. There is no quit in them. Alex Cora has them playing every out of every game. Rick, it was incredible, man. That 04 run that they went on to win the World Series was incredible. I'll never forget that run. That was insanity. It was awesome, man. They had spray painted every reverse curve sign in Boston to reverse the curse. They spray painted all over it. The city was there was a jolt of life that was breathed into that city for the whole run. It was something else. It truly was something else. Hey, Crisco, what's up, dude? What's up? Absolutely, Crisco. We got the Romeo and Juliet, the reserve, bro. We got the good stuff tonight. 100% Nicaraguan. Romeo and Juliet, the Blue Label Reserve. The Blue Label Reserve, yep. It's gonna, Rick, it's not far from it, man. Like I said, I said it a little while ago. All of the Boston sports teams are very, very close to returning to their former glory. A couple of pieces here or there on each one of those teams, and we're going to be a force again in the sporting world. They're very, very close. They are not far. But like I said, guys, we're going to be doing so since we have the All-Star break coming up. Since we have the All-Star break coming up for the Red Sox, we're going to be covering 2 of the NBA Finals games. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. we're going to be going live, and then I think that's game 3, and then game 4 we're also going to do. So I'll be covering. I don't usually do anything outside of Boston because I try to keep this channel strictly to Boston sports, but there's really no live sporting events outside of the Red Sox right now. So we're going to be covering the NBA Finals. What was that, Crisco? I missed that. Hold on, buddy. I liked the Patriots draft, Crisco. I liked their draft. I think they drafted really, really good. I would give them probably a B+ or an A-. I thought they did really, really well. I thought they drafted well. I liked their picks. And I think free agency for them was also really, really good. I think they knew that they needed to revamp and retool and kind of reset. And I think they did. I think Belichick did a pretty good job of that. I really like the Hunter Henry pickup. We actually have a legitimate tight end now in Henry. Henry's a big time threat in the red zone and on those 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 7 yard plays that we're going to need him to catch footballs from either Cam or Jones. I think that was a really smart pickup. I thought New England's offseason was very, very good. I thought it was very good. I thought their offseason was very good. I'm going to say week 8, Crisco. I'm going to say week 8. I think by week 8, if Cam Newton's not performing well and the team is still kind of stuck in the mud and running in place with Cam, I think by week 8, I don't think Bill's not going to want to do it, but I don't think he's going to have a choice. I don't think he's going to have a choice. I don't think the Patriots can have another 7-9 season. I think that would not really sit well with fans or the media in this area. So I think a jolt of electricity and maybe a change at the helm would be necessary at that point. But that is my opinion. I think by week 8, we get to see what the kid's got. Yes, Crisco, absolutely. That's definitely a big that's definitely going to be interesting to watch, to see how the Saints handle the post-Breeze era. Brady, I think they improved the receiving core. I think they definitely improved it. There's still some questions, though. I still have questions. I still have concerns about the receiving core. A lot of those guys they're much better than they were before, the talent. I think it's me not having a lot of faith in Cam Newton being able to get them the football. So I do think Mac Jones fits the Patriots system better. I think Josh McDaniels will know how to use Mac Jones better than Cam. And I think that the confidence level that Josh McDaniels has in Mac Jones is going to be higher than the confidence level he has in Cam Newton. I just judging from last year, I think that's a more likely scenario. I think that's more likely. But that's just me. And I don't blame Cam Newton. Father Time it beats everybody, man. Father Time beats everyone. He has said he hasn't been the same since 2013 because of the shoulder injury. That shoulder injury that Cam had was a bad injury, man. Carolina kind of did him dirty. I'll give Newton that. Carolina did him dirty on that. That shoulder injury was bad, and I think the Panthers only made it worse. And then he had the foot. I think he had a foot injury too. It's Father Time catches up with everybody, man. Nobody, you can't beat Father Time forever. So I don't, and here's my take on Cam, and I said it before at the beginning of the stream, and I'll say it again. Not very often have I questioned Cam's character. He's been a great locker room guy. He's said and done the right things. He's been a great teammate to those guys. He's been a good vocal leader in the locker room. None of that, he's been good. Most of 98% of the time, that's been good. All that's been good. It's the physical aspect of stuff. The play on the field, the not knowing the playbook, the inability to accurately throw a football, the inability to diagnose a defense. I just think he can't do it on the field anymore. I don't think he can do it on the field anymore, and I don't blame him for it. It's just, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. He's not the same player. He's just not. And I mean, it happens to every NFL player. It does. You know what I mean? Like he just doesn't have it physically anymore. And another thing too, like Cam Newton is if he had his choice, he's a run first quarterback. He's going to drop back, make 2 reads, and then take off and run with the football. He's an athletic, he was when he came into the league, an athletic freak, right? Athletic freak. Same as Lamar Jackson, athletic freak. The guy's a 55% passer, 56% passer at best, maybe 58, maybe 58% at his best, They're run-first guys. They're going to drop back, make 2 quick reads, and then take off with their legs and make a play, right? That's what these run-first quarterbacks do. They use their legs. They use their athletic ability to make plays, and most of the time it's with their legs. That's how they do it, right? And most of the time, most of them are not, they have a football IQ, but it's not the same compared to some of these other pure pocket passers. The pure pocket passers are they tend to last longer in the league, and they do better at what, they do better in the NFL because it's more suited to them, right? Because here's the thing, right? What happens to these guys with pure athletic ability after the age of about 29 to 30? What happens when you hit 30? That athletic ability goes away. That athletic ability, the speed, the agility, the toughness, it goes down. Father Time comes into effect, right? You lose that. And what are you left with when you lose that pure athletic ability? Your mind. Your mind is still here. Your mind is still strong. The ability to read a defense, to diagnose a blitz, and to deliver your ability to read a defense, diagnose a blitz, and find the open man and deliver an accurate football is still there. You can still throw the football. You can still throw it accurately and read a defense and know who's going to be open and where. That ability is still there with these pocket passers. That's why these pure athletic freak quarterbacks, they don't last long, 5 years at the most, because that athletic ability diminishes. And what are you left with? A guy with a lower football IQ and a guy that throws 55%. A guy that throws 55%, and 55% in the NFL puts you middle of the pack to the bottom third. Middle of the pack to bottom third. That's what you're left with these guys that are pure athletic guys. So I'm more keen to taking a guy who's less athletic, still can still knows how to move in the pocket, can slide in a pocket and move around in a pocket, but less athletic. And let's say he has a really high football IQ, he can diagnose the defense, and he can throw an accurate football. I'm going to take that guy over just a pure athletic freak. That's a 50% guy. That's just me, but that's the guy that I'm going to take. I'll take that guy. Because I think long-term, for a football team, long-term, I'm not talking 5 years, I'm talking 8 to 10 years down the line. That's what I'm thinking, 5 years is one thing. That's a short window. That's a short window, 5 years. You got to think long-term with these guys. Who can fit with this team for 8 years, 8 to 10? I mean, that's the way I think, though. I mean, those are just my thoughts. That's all that I'm saying. I mean, that's how I've always looked at football. That's how I've always looked at football. Is the quarterback's got to be the smartest guy on the field, if not the smartest, one of the smartest guys on the field when it comes to football IQ. And if he's not the smartest guy or one of the smartest guys on the field, then you're ultimately not going to have success for long term. You may get 1 or 2 or 3 seasons out of him at an elite level, but after that, it's going to go down. You're going to go down, and you're going to be back searching for a quarterback in 4 years, 5 years, because they just don't last. The NFL's just not built for those guys. It's not built for those pure athletic freak quarterbacks that can't throw a ball over 55% accurate. That it's not built long term for those guys. It's just not. It looks like it. It looks like it, Rick. I certainly hope so. Like, he fits what the Patriots system is looking for. A football smart guy who can move in a pocket and has some athleticism, not a ton, but some. And it's just knows how to deliver an accurate football. He just fits the system better. He just fits it better. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think the running quarterbacks, do you think those athletic freak quarterbacks can last 10 plus years, 10 years in the league, 8 to 10 years? I'm asking you guys. That's my thoughts. That's how I look at football. I coached it for 3 years too. For three seasons. I coached it for 3 seasons, and that's just how I look at it. That's how I look at football. I don't know. You guys might look at it differently. I'm here to hear what you guys have to say. So let me know. But that's just how I look at it. The quarterback has to be one of, or if not the smartest guy on the field. And that's including the defense. He's got to be smarter than the defense too. If anybody is on that running quarterback train, feel free to chime in, guys. If you disagree, feel free to chime in. I'm more than happy to talk about it. That's just how I feel. But I'm more than happy to listen to what you guys got to say, or to hear to hear what you guys got to say. That's just how I feel. I've always looked at it like that. Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. That's I'm just telling you how I look at the sport. That's all. But if you guys are younger, if there's anybody, I don't know, age 12 to 18 in here, or younger kids, how do you look at it? That's just me growing up. I grew up in a generation of pure pocket passers. Breeze, Brady, Manning. Those are the guys. Those were the 3 guys that were the faces of the league for forever. And one of those guys, pure pocket passers. And the greats, the quarterbacks that are greats, that are Hall of Famers, that are greats, that the household names in quarterbacks are, I would be willing to say 90% of them are pocket passers. They sat back in a pocket. They moved in the pocket. They slid left or right and delivered an accurate football. That's just how it. The NFL's been built like that for years. Like, if you're one of these teams that drafts a run-first quarterback, you're giving yourself a 5-year window. If you draft, to me, this is how I look at it, right? If you draft one of those athletic freak quarterbacks, a run-first quarterback, Rodgers is in there too, Arthur. Yes, he is. Rodgers is in there too. My mistake. I was trying to think of who I was forgetting. Rodgers is in there too. Yeah. If you're going to draft one of these run-first guys, then you're giving yourself a 5-year window to win a Super Bowl. You're a win now. You're giving yourself a 5-year window to win a Super Bowl. Because after 5 years, that window, that athletic ability is going to go down. After 5 years, that pure athletic ability is going to diminish. So I've always said it. I've said it since I've been on YouTube, and even before then, even before I got on YouTube. If you draft a run first quarterback like Lamar Jackson, like Colin Kaepernick, Newton was, these run first, Michael Vick, was another one. A lot of these run first guys, you give yourself 5 years. You give yourself a 5-year window to win a Super Bowl, and then you're going to have to reset and go again because the athletic ability of that guy is down. It goes down. He can't run as fast as he did in college. He can't run a 40 as fast as he did in year 2 and year 1 as he did in year 5 or 6. It just doesn't happen. And it's just Father Time taking its toll. The athletic ability diminishes. Brady's greatest weapon in his arsenal is his mind. Rodgers, the same way. Manning, the same way. Both Mannings. Eli too. Both of those guys, their mind is their greatest weapon. Their mind is their greatest weapon. And unless guys like Lamar and unless guys like Lamar Jackson learn, they really sit down, and pay attention to film and really, if they really want to perfect their craft, then he would work with a QB guy on how to become more accurate throwing the football. If Lamar Jackson could ever get to about 61%, he would be an absolute monster on the field. But to go from 58 or 50, 57, 55 to 60, 61 that's a huge ask. That's a massive ask. I mean, that's like I said, that's just how I've looked at the sport my whole life. That's how I've looked at it my whole life. I grew up watching guys that are pure pocket passers and see them. I mean, Brady, Breeze, Rodgers, Manning, those guys spent years and years and years in the league, and they weren't the most athletic. They weren't the most athletic on the field, but they were one of the smartest guys out there. And at the end of their careers, they could still deliver an accurate football. Accuracy and football smarts are what keep you in this league, or what keep you in that league. Accuracy, football IQ, and accuracy and football IQ are what keep you in the league a long time. If you know where to, if you're any player, football IQ, if you know what to do and when to do it, that'll keep you in the league for a while. But like I said, if anybody differs in opinion, if you think these running quarterbacks of the future, feel free to chime in, man. I'm here for you guys. I'm here to listen to it all. We could have a discussion about it and everything. Yeah, the quick release. Well, that comes with football IQ, John. The quick release comes with football IQ. I know I got to get rid of this football. I know I got to get rid of this football accurately, and I got to get rid of it quick. That comes with football IQ. If your internal clock knows in 2 seconds you got to get rid of the football, it's, the snap, 1001, 1002, out, done, bang. It's a lot of this stuff you just can't teach. Most of the stuff that quarterbacks have nowadays, you just can't teach. They either got it or they don't. And if they don't have it, you're just delaying the inevitable of what's going to happen. If they don't have it, you're just delaying the inevitable. Woo. Had to relight that sucker, guys. But I mean, that's just how I look at it. That's just how I look at the sport. But thanks for hanging out with me, guys. We're at 90 minutes right now. We've been live for an hour and a half. Appreciate y'all. Hope everybody's enjoying their Saturday night. Or for my Filipino brothers and sisters that are Boston sports fans, I believe this would be Sunday afternoon for y'all. So I appreciate if there's any Filipino brothers and sisters in here listening to this broadcast or watching. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me on Sunday afternoon. We're almost done with this cigar, guys. Probably, I don't know, maybe 10 more minutes, 10, 15 more minutes, and then we will cut this stream off. But thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the 8 people still in here. I know it's late here on the East Coast. It's 11:30 p.m. But like I said, I appreciate y'all. I'm just hanging out here at the waterfront, guys. Hanging out here looking at the harbor right now. Listening to some live music. They got some music being played. Some classic rock being played in the background. So I am just enjoying myself hanging out with y'all. Yeah, no doubt, John. No doubt. No doubt, man. Yeah, Brady, I've been talking, football's right around the corner, dude. We're close. We're about a month away from the Pats' first preseason game. They play the Washington football team August 12th. I think that's a Thursday night game. So we will definitely be covering that. I am excited. I am excited about the football season, guys. I'm excited for football to come back. I really am. I can't wait for it to get back. The Cowboys need a defense, Karam. They got to build that defense up, man. They've had a good offensive core now for a while. They got to do a better job of building that defense up around Dak. Dak scores all these points and then they lose 34-30 because the defense can't do their job. Hey, Rick with the $50 Canadian donut. Appreciate that, big guy. Appreciate that, bud. Thank you, buddy. But that's definitely Dak can score. Dak can put points on the board. I'm not arguing that fact. I've seen him score 30 points a lot. But the defense just the lack of defense in Dallas and their idiot owner, their ineptitude at ownership is what kills them. The Cowboys haven't been good since they let Jimmy Johnson go. Jerry Jones should be kicking himself for that one. If he kept Jimmy Johnson and just let Jimmy do his thing in Big D there in Dallas, that team would have been stupid good. But Jerry couldn't do it. Couldn't handle the fact that there was another alpha male in the room, and he had to be the guy. So he told Jimmy get to stepping, and it was his biggest mistake he ever made. I appreciate you guys, Rick, for hanging out and being part of the channel, man. I appreciate y'all. More than you guys know. We appreciate, I should say we, me, the girlfriend, my entire family, they watch all these streams too. We appreciate you guys. We really do. Oh, no way, Darkness. That sucks. No way. That's no good, man. Acuna has a complete tear of his right UCL. That's not good, man. That's not good. That's a bummer. Hate to see injuries like that, man. Like I said, Brady, the defense for the Cowboys has been their biggest issue. The defense for Dallas has been the issue for years. Like I said, Dak will put up 30 points and the team will lose 34-30. You know, he'll put up 27 points and they'll lose on a last-second field goal. You know, It's a lot of that hasn't really been Dak's fault. Most of it, really. It's the lack of defense is a huge part of it. If Dak even had a mediocre, if he had like a top, like a, I don't know, if he had a halfway decent defense, I think that team would look a lot different. Dallas has no D behind him. Nothing. He gets no help on defense at all. That offense, with the weapons that Dallas has, there's no excuse for them not to be in the playoffs every year, and I mean like second round of the playoffs. You know, they should make the second round of the playoffs every year, and it's like, with the talent that's on that team, it's inexcusable. It's all right, Rick. Take it easy, buddy. Thank you for the donation, and thanks for being a part of the channel, but much appreciated. Much appreciated. There's just no excuse why there's no excuse for them to be that, to not have success. It's a lot of it's defense, and then you add the bad ownership. Jerry Jones is a moron, and he's always got to add his 2 cents into everything. Just if I had the money to own a sports team, I would hire the best coach I could. I would overpay if I had to. The best coach and the best GM I could, and the best coaching staff, and I would let them do their thing. I would sit there and all they would need me to do is just sign the checks. I would let them do their thing. I wouldn't interfere with anything. I would hire football guys to make football decisions. What's up, Lewis? And just let them make the football decisions. Good owners don't interfere with those aspects of things. They don't. They just don't. That's how I look at it. I wouldn't interfere with any of that. These owners who try to meddle in what their coaches and GMs are doing just make it worse. They think they're making it. They try and make it better, but they need to repeat. They need to repeat this to themselves. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about this sport, so I need to leave it up to the people that do. That's what they need to do. Good owners, all they do is sign the checks. They leave the football stuff and the sports stuff up to the sports guys. Yeah, I think Horford's going to be able to help the maturity of Tatum and Brown a lot. I think Horford will be able to help the maturity of Tatum and Brown a lot. I do. Yeah, me either, Luke. Me either, buddy. Me either. I can't wait for football to come back. Football's been a part of my life for like 15 years. Probably longer than that. Probably like 18. I've played since I was a little kid. I've played football since I was a little kid. As soon as my parents could get me into football, they signed me up, and I played all through Pop Warner, through high school. I coached it for 3 years. Football's in my blood, man. My father is a legend in the town that he lived in. He is an absolute legend. He was the quarterback of the team, and then he went to college, and he was a legend at the college that he played for too. Everybody knows his name. Football is in my blood, man. It's in my blood. It's my favorite sport. I love it. Love it. My two brothers played football too. We are a football family. We are a football and sports family. We played sports our whole lives. Football, baseball, basketball. We've always been involved in it. Sports have been a part of my life my entire life. There you go, Kyle. it's just a part of me, man. I've known football in my life, all my life. It's been a part of me forever. I like baseball too, man. I like baseball. I mean, I don't ask much out of my sports teams. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the Celtics to death. I love all my Boston sports teams, but that product that the Celtics were putting on the court, in the second half of the season was not fun to watch. What's up, Carson? That, like I said, I love the Celtics. They're like I said, basketball's a really fun sport to watch, and that was just hard to watch and hard to stream, and just a lot of those games were really painful at the halfway, from the halfway point of the season on. You could tell that Stevens had lost the team. They were quitting on him. They didn't believe in him anymore. They didn't believe. The Celtics just didn't believe, and it was hard to watch sometimes. Hopefully the new coach Ime Udoka can change that, and they come out with a whole new attitude and a whole new enthusiasm. Hopefully that'll change. It was just tough to watch. The Celtics were tough to watch the second half of the season. They just, like I said, it seemed like they weren't into it, and that was hard to watch. It was just a hard thing to watch. I'm never going to give up on them. I'll never give up on my teams. I don't know. I don't think so. I think the Pats are going to be a lot more competitive this year than they were last year. But still the biggest question mark for the Patriots is somebody just said that, Carson. Someone just said that. Somebody just said that. I heard that. That's no good. That sucks. The biggest question mark for the Pats is the quarterback. And unfortunately, that's a huge question mark. The worst team in every league. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd have to think about that one. I hope so, Carson. I hope they win 10 games. I'm hoping for a 10-win season this year. I'm hoping for 10 wins. I mean, I think it's achievable. I mean, they won 7 games last year, so 10 games this year would be an improvement, and that's what I can ask for, The team's still trying to find their quarterback of the future. I hope it's Mac Jones. I really do. I hope Jones comes in and lights it up when he gets his chance. I hope Jones is the quarterback of the future, and we can continue, we can get back to those 12, 13 win seasons. That's what I hope. I'm hoping. It's just, there's a lot of question marks, man. It's just a lot of question marks. I do think they're going to be better this year because the talent surrounding the team is better. Gilmore, I hope we get Gilmore back. I hope we get Gilmore back, for sure. I do think that they're gonna work a deal out with him. I don't think Belichick's gonna let him walk. I don't think so. I think Bill knows he needs Gilmore. He needs him on that defense. I think Bill knows that Gilmore is a big part of that D, and he really needs him this year. This year especially. Especially since that there's such a big question mark at quarterback. If they didn't have such a huge question mark at the quarterback position, he may be more inclined to let Gilmore walk. But since there's such a big question mark there, I think he's going to need all the defensive help he can get. So I do think they get a deal done with Gilmore. I think it's like 2 years, 2 or 3 years, 3 years at the most. I think he puts a lot of incentives in there because he had a kind of a down year last year. So I think when they do his contract, it's heavily incentive laden to keep him playing and interested too. I do think that that the team will be better for sure. I hope they win 10 games though. I do. Yeah, I like a lot of people criticize that Barmore pick, but I like that a lot, man. I like that Barmore pick a lot. I think people have a lot of questions about him, but I think I think Belichick and I think Belichick's gonna be able to motivate that kid and get a lot out of him. I think Barmore's gonna have a really good year this year. I think he'll have a really good year. I know there's people that do question that pick, that move, but I think that was a good move on their part. I like that Barmore pick a lot. And then what's that? There's that kid Perkins, I think. Perkins, they got. He might end up being one of the steals of the draft. I think his name is Perkins. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. It's been a while. I haven't paid too much attention to the Pat stuff because there hasn't been too much going on. Yeah, I think Perkins might end up being one of the steals of the draft. I really did like that pick a lot. I think he offers them a lot of versatility. I did. I thought that Perkins pick was really good. I thought their offseason, the Patriots offseason, was really good. I thought Bill did a really good job in free agency of getting, knowing that the talent was lacking and getting the best talent that he could on the team with the money he had. And then I think his draft was really good as well. I think his draft was really, really good as well. I have pretty high hopes for the Patriots this year. I'm hoping for 10 wins. That's what I'm hoping for. If they get more, that's great. But I'm hoping for 10 wins. 3 more than last year. I think it's doable. I think they're going to beat Miami both times. I think they're going to beat the Jets both times, and I think they're going to split with the Bills. I think they'll split with the Bills. They'll beat the Jets both times. They'll beat Miami both times. So that's 5. That's halfway to it right there. That's halfway to it right there. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for at least 10 wins. I think it's more than doable. Definitely more than doable. And I think they might surprise some of these other teams some of these tougher teams that are on their schedule. I think a lot of those teams will underestimate them, and maybe they'll be able to punch them in the mouth and get a win that they weren't supposed to win. But that's my thoughts. I'm looking forward to the Pats season though. Yeah, we did lose a couple of close games. Like I said, if we beat Miami twice, right? If we beat Miami twice and we beat the Jets twice and then split with the Bills, that's 5 wins right there. That's half of 10. So if you can't, if you don't think they can squeak 5 wins out elsewhere, I think 10 wins is more than doable this year. I'm curious. See, that's why I'm going to do all of. I usually don't pay too much attention to the Patriots preseason games, but I really want to see how Mac Jones looks in a game situation. I want to see how he looks in a real life, full speed game situation. So I'm going to do all of the Patriots preseason games because it's just out of curiosity. I'm curious to see how Jones is going to look in a real NFL situation. I think he'll be just fine because he came from Alabama and they basically run a pro-style offense anyways. So I think Jones will be fine, but that's my opinion. Do you have as much faith as I do in him? I think he's going to be fine. I think he'll be just fine. From the reports that I'm getting from Patriots camp, they're throwing a lot at the kid. They're really, really pushing his knowledge of the game. And hey, Tiger Raven with the $5 donation. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks a lot. He says, I can't wait for the NFL season to start. Me either, bud. Me either. I can't wait for football to be back. We're like 4 weeks away, brother. We are like 4 weeks away. Can't wait. Like I said, I mean, me personally, I think Jones will be fine. I think Alabama really does prep their players for the NFL. I think Alabama does a really good job of prepping their players on that team for the NFL. So I think Mac Jones will be I think he'll be fine. If we think about this, right? Let's say Mac Jones's ceiling is Phillip Rivers. Do you guys think we could win another Super Bowl with a Phillip Rivers style quarterback? I think we could. I think Belichick's a good enough coach to do that. What do you guys think? I think it's more than doable. If Mac Jones' ceiling is Phillip Rivers, I think with a Phillip Rivers style quarterback, we could win another Super Bowl. Absolutely. With Belichick at the helm, no doubt. I mean, I think so. Because a lot of people, that's the comparison that I've heard. That's the comparison that I've heard for Mac Jones is Phillip Rivers. That's the ceiling that a lot of these guys kind of put him at. And I would take that quarterback. I would take a Phillip Rivers, level quarterback with Bill Belichick as a coach. I would take it. I think we can win another one. I absolutely do. If that's his ceiling, if Phillip Rivers is Mac Jones' ceiling, we could absolutely win another Super Bowl. Maybe with the right talent around him too. That's what I think. See, I don't know. Andrew Luck was really good, Brady. I don't know if we could compare him to Andrew Luck yet. Luck was really, really good. Really good. But Phillip Rivers, that's like a fair comp to me. That's a fair comparison there. I would think that's doable. I think they could win at least one. I think they could get one with a if Mac Jones' ceiling is there. I don't know, Brady. That is a buzzsaw of a team. That whole team is coming back. Don't forget that whole Buccaneers team is coming back. They're looking to run it back, dude. Tampa's looking to run it back, and you can't tell me that they're not going to be pumped and hyped to come and play in New England. I hope and pray that the Patriots are ready for that game, because Tampa's going to be coming in there, and they're going to be coming in there hot, ready to play. So we better be able to match their attitude and their enthusiasm, because that is going to be a knockdown, drag them out kind of game. I just hope the Pats can match that enthusiasm. The ticket prices for that game, guys, are ridiculous. What those tickets are selling for? What those tickets are selling for to see that Brady. Hold on, guys, got to plug my phone in here. We are about to die. The battery is about to go out on me. Hold on. All right, we're good. We're good. Can y'all still hear me? Y'all still hear me good? Let me know. Sometimes when I plug the phone in, it all right, we're good. Okay, cool. All right. But that's my hope, man. I hope that the Patriots can have the same energy. I hope the Pats can come into that game. They're going to need to. They're going to need to come into that game really, really hyped and ready to play, because Brady's going to want to beat his team, his old team, and Belichick. mostly Belichick. He's going to want to prove a point to Bill that they should have never got rid of him. So he's going to come in there juiced, and my hope is that the Patriots play with the same energy and they match it, and that's a good game. But I don't know. That team is really, really good. That whole defense is coming back. That whole offensive unit's coming back. It's going to be interesting. The prices for the ticket prices for that game are just stupid high, though. They're stupid high. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You're talking 50. So they last month they announced that 4 seats on the 50-yard line for that Brady versus Bill game sold for $100,000. 4 seats on the 50-yard line, about 10 rows back, sold for $100,000. So that's $25,000 a seat. It's more expensive than Super Bowl tickets are. Those tickets are ridiculous. To get into the stadium, guys, just to walk into the stadium, to have a nosebleed seat. The nosebleeds, which are like the last row of the stadium, are the last row of the stadium are like $2,000. It's insanity what the seats are selling for. Nosebleed seats are $2,000. The standing room seats, I believe, sold out in 3 minutes, and they were like $1,500. It's outrageous. It's insanity. Ken, you ain't kidding. It's free on TV. That's a fact. You can sit there with a 6-pack and some tailgate food and just have a blast watching it on TV for free. That's a fact. It's out of this world. But that game is going to have a lot of juice to it. That's going to have a lot of energy behind it. All right, Brady, you have a good night, bud. You have a good night as well. I think I'm about to cut this off, guys. We're going to go 2 minutes till we hit 120 minutes. We're going to go 2 more minutes, and then we're going to check up out of here. But thanks again, guys, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Just hanging out with me while I sat here and just enjoyed me a little cigar and talked to y'all about some sports. Can't wait for the football season to start, though. We're not far away. And don't forget, we will be covering Game 3 and Game 4 of the we're going to be covering Game 3 and Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we'll be going live for Game 3, and then I forget when Game 4 is, but we'll be covering both of those games. We will definitely be covering both of those games. So I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night at 8. We will be going live for that. Thank you, Arthur. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. But this has been a lot of fun, y'all. Everybody have a good night. We're going to be checking up out of here. We are going to be checking up out of here, guys. I am going home and headed to bed, and I will see y'all tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Everybody have a good one. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Appreciate all the donations. Appreciate all the support for the channel. We'll see you live tomorrow night for Game 3, Suns versus Bucks. And let's see if the Suns can take a 3-0 lead. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for all of the support, and I'm out of here. Peace.